Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Thursday, the 28th of September 2023. Whoa, my first video in about 10 days, I think. I've been absolutely rotten sick. I don't know if it's COVID or what, but I mean, it was bad at the time, and the after effects are still going like ripples on a pond. And it's just gradually gets back up and then comes down again. Comes down again. But yeah, finally feel fit and fresh enough to record one of these videos at the end of the day. So here we go. Let's go. It's going to be a nice, easy one today because it's obviously Thursday. Not much to talk about. But we've got a couple of stories from the Southwark News. We've got the Midweek Loanwatch they've started doing, and we've got arrests and football banning orders. That should be fun. They put out the annual report today. So we start off from the southwarknews.co.uk. Every year it seems to be getting stronger. Ryan Leonard, what is he talking about? Oh, he's talking about Millwall squad. Oh, nice. The informed defender has seen plenty of players come and go during his 5 years at the Den. Ryan Leonard believes Millwall's recruitment has been getting better and better every year as they look to finally crack their dream of Premier League promotion. The 31-year-old has been at the Den since August 2018 and has seen the Lions come close to making it into the playoffs on multiple occasions. A busy summer in the transfer window has left Millwall looking poised to challenge again after some exciting players joined the team and are now beginning to flourish. And fan favourite Leonard, who has played an important role in the back three so far this season, is impressed with what he sees. He told News at Den, every year it seems to be getting stronger. We seem to be bringing in better and better players each year. And that's not to say a couple of years ago our squad wasn't good because it was strong. But look at what the manager's built. Oh, look at him crawling up Gary Rowetts' arse. We're knocking on the door to the playoffs every single year. We're climbing the table each year. I think this year the manager has brought in some really good players again. Obviously, we've kept hold of a lot of good players as well, which always helps. We've got 20 to 21 players now that are quite capable of coming in, playing games and starting in the team. You look at the first game against Middlesbrough, for example, and you've got Rom, Domu, two young lads come in, scored, got an assist, done really well, and those have been key for us. Even though the last few games they haven't had a lot of minutes, but they're going to come into their own. They're two really good young players. They're working hard in training. I think they're going to be a really successful part of our season. Mill's biggest issue at the moment are injuries, with two of Leonard's defensive colleagues, Sean Hutchinson and Murray Wallace, out at the moment. A goalkeeper, Matija Sarkic, also who faces months on the sideline. Well, I hope months or 3 months. Leonard has a history of injury issues and says the squad work hard to rally around crocked players. He said, I've had like 3 or 4 years where I've struggled with long-term injuries, and it's mentally one of those where it's hard to get yourself around it. The first couple of weeks is probably the hardest, I would say, to get your head in the right mindset to think, right, now I've got a period of time where I've got to get back fit, and I have to get back on a training pitch before I can even get involved in the team. Injuries are part and parcel in football, but it doesn't make it easier, even though it's part of the game. I think that's where the squad comes in. You've got to get around the lads and rally around them. We did it with George Honeyman, and Honeyman's nearly back now. It's always hard because you're kind of on the outskirts, because you're not training, you're not travelling, you're working in the gym by yourself at times, and it takes a lot of mental strength to come back from those long-term injuries. It's something we all go through, and we all need to rally around those players that are struggling. We just need to get them through. Indeed, but you can see there, the manager's done really well. So you can tell that Ryan Leonard is very much pro Rowett in the Millwall team camp. Obviously, he's one of the ones getting game time in the system that Gary Rowett wants to play. So he's found a space for him in the defence. Otherwise, he probably wouldn't be playing. But there you go. Now we know. Moving on to this. He's a pain in the backside to defenders. Millwall manager reflects on losing Tom Bradshaw to injury. This is also from the southwarknews.co.uk. The striker will miss next game against Swansea City. That is unfortunate. Gary Rowett has urged his squad players to step up amid first team absences as he reflected on the loss of Tom Bradshaw. The Welsh international and Murray Wallace were both ruled out of Saturday's clash against Swansea City, joining several of their teammates on the sidelines. Goalkeeper Matija Sarkic is set to be out due to a quad muscle injury issue until around December, while defender Sean Hutchinson is expected to be unavailable until the next international break with a calf problem. I think that's around the 20th of October, the 12th of October, I'm not too sure. Meanwhile, George Honeyman, who went off injured in the opening game of pre-season, and striker Kevin Nisbet, who hurt his ankle against Rotherham United last week, are both recovering but could be fit for Swansea. Rowett believes perfect striker Bradshaw, who picked up a hamstring issue against West Bromwich Albion, would be a big loss due to his tireless work rate up front. He told the News at Den, "Oh, Bradders, he just felt his hamstring before he went into the challenge. We hoped it was a dead legs type of scenario, but I think he felt something just before he went into it. And thankfully it's not too serious, but it's another thing that makes that player potentially unavailable. But we'll see where we are with those, because it's not ideal, because we've got plenty of different strikers in the building. I think Bradders is probably the one you least want to be without, in terms of he's probably the only one we've won of. That sort of out-and-out 9, that physical presence with the way he plays. He plays it more from the sort of pressing, pinning, bumping, being a pain in the backside to defenders rather than the big target man. But he does play that role really well, so yeah, we'll have to cope with his absence. He's such an infectious personality. He just loves working hard for the team as well. He loves pressing, he loves chasing, he loves running. He also loves scoring goals, which he did 17 times last season, so he's more than showed a different side of his game. But I think for a manager, he's a perfect striker, because a lot of strikers want to wait and do their work when it really matters, but Bradders will do it everywhere on the pitch. Despite the absences, Rowett's confident players in his squad can step up and help Millwall build on a couple of encouraging results. The Lions impressed as they beat Rotherham last week, and were good in patches during a testing draw at West Brom last Saturday. We were good in the first half against West Brom. Rotherham were really, really bad. Obviously, I missed the videos for these two things. Rotherham were just so awful. I don't know if their manager is copying Gary Rowetts, but they're playing Fred Onyedinma at right wing back. And then obviously that led to the opening goal from Longman, a really good goal. Against West Brom, you gotta say we only had one shot on target in the second half. I think we actually only had one shot in the second half. It was literally like we had the lead and we were trying to defend for our lives. Which ironically I think suited some of the players. I think Murray Wallace and Bart, I think they kind of prefer that when they're just in that defensive mindset. But yeah, that was painful to watch, and you just had trying to defend for 45 minutes. It's bizarre. And obviously, I don't think it was anything. I don't think that they were told out to go out and do that. It's just West Brom made changes that meant they attacked more, and we just couldn't deal with it, and we just had to keep defending. But yeah, but I would say Bart was very good in that game. Not most eloquent of styles he's got now. Looks like a guy who's dropped a pound in the Weatherspoons. He's like on the floor scrambling around on his hands and knees, but he got the job done, so there you go. Rowett said, "We've got players at the moment where, from a managerial perspective, you want to keep a bit of a settled side and a bit of a continuity. And I tried to do it after the Leeds game, as tempting as it was to make lots and lots of changes in different ways. But we've tried to get continuity. We've tried to get the team a settled feel. When you're forced to change certain things, it gives opportunities. I could name 3 or 4 players like Wes Harding, Danny McNamara, Joe Bryan and Rom. You've got players who are more than good enough to help improve our team, and it would be a desperate start. I don't think the injuries necessarily impinges the quality of the team. But what it does is impinge the quality of the bench, and that's the only negative to it at the moment. We've got a small squad, but we've got a good squad, and it just gets tested in little moments like this. But that's a chance for people to step up. Yeah, more on that when we get onto the Loanwatch, which is the next story. Obviously, if you do have the players stepping up from the bench to the team, we've our better under 21 players are out on loan now, so they can't come in and sit on the bench. So I guess if you're Gary Rowett, you just have a smaller bench. You don't have as many subs. So I guess that's what you do. But that's seemingly how it's going. Now here we go. A midweek Loanwatch from millwallfc.co.uk, which usually they weren't doing this last season. They would have the one on the Monday and then they would kind of tack on the midweek stuff as well. But there's obviously in non-league, there's a lot of midweek games. And I think obviously there's a lot of good favour built up with the under 21s from them winning the season. Winning the national championship last season. And I think with the first team's kind of dodgy start and kind of negativity around that and the way we play, obviously they're trying to get some positive vibes out there. So they're doubling up on the loan watches for the under 21s. We're out on loan, which is good. Chinockley scores again. I think it's so obviously he's a defender, so he scores and he gets a clean sheet and a 1-0 win. Like that's as good as it gets. So yeah. Millwall only Chinockley headed home the only goal of the game during Bromley's 1-0 win over Eastleigh on Tuesday night. The defender struck in the first half to give the Ravens all 3 points and extend their unbeaten run in the Vanarama National League to 10 matches. Unbeaten in 10 matches. How could they win it? Maybe. Why not? It's obviously a long way to go, but they seem a pretty decent team. They've been there or thereabouts over the years, obviously building themselves up, building a new stand there. Could they get in the league? Could they be a league team? Could we get them in the League Cup? Maybe. Elsewhere, Alex Mitchell had a goal disallowed. Boo! As a heroic Lincoln City were edged out of the Carabao Cup at the third round stage by West Ham United, with the Premier League side struggling to a 1-0 success at Sincil Bank. Nice. Abdul Malik played 54 minutes while with Carl Smith playing the full 90 as Wildstone defeated Nana Boateng's Nana Boateng is out with metatarsal, so I think that's quite a while, isn't it? That's the thing that Beckham had, isn't it? So I think that's quite a long time, man. You're out with that. Woking side 1-0 in the Vanarama National with Joe Wright, an unused substitute, as Swansea City exited the Carabao Cup by a 4-0 home defeat to Burnley. I don't know what's going on with Salford. Now, their goalkeeper is also the captain, Alex Kearns. They concede so many goals. So you would think, I don't think they're going to drop their goalkeeper for Joe Wright. But I mean, how many more goals can they concede? Well, obviously it's Premier League Burnley, but I mean, even in the league they concede so many goals. But there you go. And here are the games coming up at the weekend. What have we got? Bromley at home to Gateshead. Wildstone versus Oldham. There's 2 Millwall players involved in that. Even though Nana Boateng's out injured, they've listed these games. So, yeah, nice to see that they've started to do the midweek loan watch with so many players out on loan, especially in the National League. Good to see. Now, moving on to the last piece of today's video, which might be a long one. Here we go. This is the Home Office. The Home Office. Official statistics. Football-related arrests and banning orders, England and Wales 22 to 23 season. Published on the 28th of September 2020. So today, they published it today. And we're going to have a look and see what's going on. Where are Millwall? So here we go. Some notes. So from this season, if you tried to get into a game with Class A drugs in a stadium, they could give you a football banning order for that. Before, it's like a civil thing. It's just a drug arrest. Now they can. Now, for some reason as well, they've included women's football games in this, which I mean, I guess means that your football banning order covers women's games as well. Although why the hell you would want to watch them, I don't know. And bizarrely, they've included arrests that have been made in this country about the Qatar World Cup. So people were watching it on TVs in this country, or they were seen on television in Qatar doing things, and then they got arrested in this country for something that happened in Qatar. I don't know, because it says here where have been included due to improved recording and reporting practices. I don't know about that, but so obviously football banning orders are up, football arrests are up. Obviously they've included the Class A drug arrests, 200 of those, and 101 arrests in England and Wales relating to the 22 World Cup in Qatar. 90% of the arrests were the top 5 English football divisions. So football banning order lasts for a minimum of 3 years and no more than 5 years. However, in cases where a person was sentenced to a term of imprisonment, an order lasts for a minimum of 6 years and no more than 10 years. So that might be important coming on later. Because here you can go, oh look, a lovely bar chart. So there you go. The new ones. Purple at the top is the new one. The light grey purple at the bottom is the old ones that are still in force. You can see that they're dishing out new ones now. They obviously have to catch up because they missed 2 seasons because of COVID, didn't they? Now here we go. Manchester United are top of the table. Oh, we missed out again. Manchester United are top with 69 football banning orders in force. These aren't new ones. If you go back and look, where is it here? So last year, 2 years ago, they had 24 football banning orders. They've increased that up to 69. Nice, 69. So that's a massive jump. Well, you look at Millwall, we're in second again. For 21-22 season, we were in second, 52, behind Birmingham City. So Birmingham City have fell off because they did have 57 football banning orders and they dropped down to 54, which drops them down to 4th in this new table. But we've only added 14. We've gone from 52 to 66. But you can see there's a massive jump for Manchester United and West Ham. Now, is that related to the Class A drugs? Are they all junky bastards coming in with heroin? Whatever it is. What is Class A? What is it? Cocaine, isn't it? So they're all trying to bring... No wonder they talk so quickly and weird. They're trying to bring cocaine into the stadium, I guess. And they've got that. And they've got football banning orders as well. Maybe that's the West Ham as well. West Ham have gone up. What is that there? 18. Oh, 18. Yeah, 14. An increase of 14 for Millwall. You can see here, so Middlesbrough aren't even on this list. In 22-23 season, Manchester United 52, West Ham 27, Middlesbrough 23 issued the highest number of new football banning orders. So this is what football banning orders are in place. That's in that table above, and just the new ones last season. Those are the top 3. Okay, and then we go. I don't want to read it all out, but just interesting to see that Mill were second in the table. Although we only had 14. But yeah, like bizarrely, they're in. I don't know if you can you get a football banning order? Well, you were watching a World Cup on TV in a bar and you got arrested for something. Yeah. I don't know what that's about. Public disorder. See, these are the offences. Violent disorder. So going left to right, blue to whatever that turquoise to purple to orange to violet. That's it. You got violent disorder, public disorder, pitch incursion. The pitch incursion's down from last season. Alcohol offences, possession of Class A. So obviously that's a new one. That's 9% last season. These are the arrests. These aren't the vandals. So obviously, during COVID, the pitch incursion obviously disappeared. 3% afterwards. It went to shoot it up to 14, back down to 6. It's probably all Millwall related actually. So we're the only ones who seem to get in trouble for pitching incursions. Any other team that does it, especially if the game's on TV, oh look, the fans are so happy, they're running onto the pitch, isn't it great? But if it's a Millwall, it's like, oh, disgusting, absolutely disgusting. So West Ham had the highest number of arrests. So it's obviously we've seen the football banning orders, and the ones that were in place, the new ones. Here's the most arrests, which I don't know. I don't think this is obviously. This is by number. It's not by pro rata. But West Ham are actually top, 89 arrests, 69% of those at home game. Public disorder. There you go. So you can imagine why they're doing the hot and cold balls to make sure we don't get drawn at West Ham away in the cup at that new ground with all the space around it. Yeah, absolute nightmare. And look at that, 89 arrests. Manchester United 83 arrests. Leeds 69. Man City 66. And the top. So Manchester United's violent disorder was the top arrest, and the other ones are all public disorder. But Arsenal 51 arrests. Didn't know they still had it in them, but there you go. And this is with the highest recorded attendance. For 45 million people attended men's domestic and international matches, the highest number recorded since the data collection began. The most amount of people ever are attending football matches, with 2,264 arrests, 5 arrests per 100,000 attendees. That's barely any. But here you can say so international. See, this includes the games on TV that they mentioned before, so obviously that's kind of skewed it. 13.5 arrests, and then it's the FA Cup, which obviously there are different rules in the FA Cup. They have to give the away team more tickets, it's percentage based. And then the National League, bizarrely, I guess because it's more freer. And there was actually, I'm not sure if they brought it in, but it was you could drink in view of the pitch in the National. And then I think they changed that. Now it's just National League South. But you could do that National League. But yeah, League 2 and then League 1. And then the Championship is like way down there, and obviously Premier League is under that, and then League Cup because no one turns up for that. It's more like a family thing, isn't it? Especially in the Premier League. But so there you go. I think we're nearly there. The British Transport Police have stopped arresting people probably because the trains ain't fucking running and can't get you to the fucking game. Like obviously they're not going to arrest anyone. Yeah, but there you go. So here's the report. This is a report at .gov.uk. There's a link to it. I found the link on the BBC article. Most common instances involve pyrotechnics and throwing missiles. Throwing of the missiles. And now they're trying to obviously trying to bring in the when someone slags off a footballer online, they're trying to bring that in now. Get that included in the new football banning order and arrests. That's what they're trying to do now. But there you go. So there you go. Just thought this was interesting because Millwall obviously involved in this. and we are there. We are. We are second in the table. We were second last season. Still second. We've only added 14 football banning orders, and other teams have added a lot more, but we've kept our position as second. Not first, second. There you go. Thought that was interesting. Thought I'd show you that. And on that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.